What's up guys, welcome back. This is Anime Crossover. You'll be watching What If Naruto Was Married to the Goddess of Death in Marvel Part 15. Now, let's begin. As he held the nearly motionless sentry in his grasp, Naruto felt a deep discontent settle within him. Sentry bore wounds that appeared grave, yet in truth, they were not lethal. Those with great strength, like Sentry, would not fall so simply. Only the snap of a neck or the thrust of a blade could bring them down. And it was, without a doubt, true. After taking a hard hit from Naruto, Sentry bore the pain of his wound and, with determination, broke free from Naruto's grasp. Not long after liberation, the body that had been nearly shattered in the other direction found its strength once more. This sort of wound could spell doom for the average man, yet it held no power over Sentry. Once he had freed himself from Naruto's grasp, Sentry cast a resentful glance at him. He understood then that he was outclassed by Naruto. Yet, at this moment, his mind was consumed by dark reflections. His mind was consumed with thoughts of vengeance, a desire to inflict pain on Naruto, mercilessly. If he had any sense, he would have sought a swift way out of this place, for fear that he may meet his end at Naruto's hands. Yet Sentry was unable to grasp this notion. "I promise, you will know this kind of suffering too. And I shall employ a method far more merciless than this to take my revenge upon you. It isn't solely your burden. Text: I will bring ruin to your friends, your lover, and everything you hold dear." The Sentry, with a cold and unyielding demeanor, issued a threat to Naruto that was laced with malice. Naruto's face remained impassive. He dismissed Sentry's words entirely. From Naruto's perspective, Sentry was a man who had already met his end. Can the words of the deceased carry weight in this world? In any event, Naruto would show no mercy to Sentry. Today, a man met his end. It was Sentry's other self, Void, who had turned into an adversary of Naruto. In essence, Sentry's core nature was one of purity. Yet, this did not compel Naruto to release Sentry. The primary essence of Sentry was undeniably pure, yet this essence could not extinguish the presence of the second identity, Void. Thus, Sentry must meet his end. Naruto sought to prevent Void from bringing chaos to Hela while he faced the 5 gods. Even with the 6 Infinity Stones clasped in Hela's grasp, the chance of reversal lingered in the air. Furthermore, Sentry was ensnared by his own addiction. How could one ensnared by addiction be deemed innocent? Who would trust in the self-discipline and moral awareness of those ensnared by addiction? Given the Sentry's formidable strength, it was clear that Naruto could not afford to let him slip away. The soul-worthy Sentry was one that lay lifeless. As Sentry gazed upon the serene Naruto, a deeper fury welled within him. He was not only struck with brutal force by Naruto, but he also felt the weight of disdain in his gaze. This threw the Sentry's emotions into disarray. He aimed to instill a sense of remorse in Naruto. Thus, he charged once more at Naruto. Naruto unleashed everything he had without reservation. He regarded Sentry, who was once more charging at him, and exhaled a sharp breath into the chill air. The Sentry stood still, caught unawares, his body rigid as if time itself had paused. The icy breath that could bring down the Celestials meant little to Sentry. It could only hold him back for a time. Yet, in that brief span, Naruto found the means to end him. The instant the Sentry stood still, Naruto appeared before it, swift and resolute. He took aim and delivered a powerful blow to Sentry's chest. A muted thud echoed, and Sentry's chest collapsed in an instant. In that moment, a great pressure crushed and shattered Sentry's heart. The injury proved to be deadly, even for Sentry. The Sentry broke free from the icy grip of the moment, reclaiming his movement. Yet, the edge of his lips bore the mark of blood as he retreated quickly. As if a formidable force loomed, even the bravery to face that presence had vanished. The blow struck Sentry with a clarity that left no room for doubt. Naruto was not a foe to be underestimated. All the hatred and madness in his heart had vanished, leaving only a profound fear in its wake. He felt a deep-seated fear of Naruto and the inevitable approach of his end. Yet, Naruto would not release him. He would ensure that Sentry did not leave the mirror space alive. It was fitting for him to confront such a perilous adversary himself. Thus, Naruto pursued Sentry, who fled in a state of alarm. As Naruto's hand closed around Sentry's neck, all defiance slipped away, leaving only surrender in its wake. The wound to the heart was a death sentence for Sentry. Though he would not meet his end, his vigor had waned considerably. If Naruto were to break his neck now, it would mean the end for him. Let us not forget Sentry, even Naruto would meet his end if his heart gave out and his neck snapped. Not everyone possessed the resilience of a creature who could endure even the most brutal of wounds, emerging still alive despite the chaos within. Yet, Naruto faced death without fear, for he knew he could rise again, even after the end. Yet Sentry found himself unable to accomplish this task. If he passed, he would be gone. At that moment, Sentry felt a deep and palpable fear. He regarded Naruto with a sense of dread. In an instant, the crimson hue in Sentry's eyes vanished, and his demeanor shifted. After that, Sentry gazed at Naruto, taking in the gravity of his current situation, lost in thought. Naruto felt the stirring within, a recognition that the core essence of Sentry had come to life. The Sentry's primary demeanor scanned the surroundings with a furrowed brow, lost in thought. He recalled that he found himself in the heavens over the Atlantic, engaged in a struggle with Captain Marvel. How did he arrive at the depths of the universe in an instant? He was already in the vastness of outer space, yet death had not claimed him. Why did Naruto grip him by the neck, and what was it that made him appear as if he might take his life? Hold on, O mighty force of the earth, will you reveal to me the events that transpired? I was here, wasn't I? Why am I here all of a sudden? The Sentry regarded Naruto, a tremor of fear and concern etched across his face. He was truly naive. He was lost, adrift in a sea of confusion, wondering how he had come to find himself in such a predicament. He had been here, on this earth, just a moment before. Why did he find himself in outer space in the blink of an eye? Furthermore, what compelled Naruto to seize him by the throat? It was clear that Sentry recognized Naruto. He stood as the unrivaled champion among all heroes on this planet. He possessed the strength to defeat the Avengers and alien foes, and he had taken the lives of many foolish individuals. Sentry had only listened to tales of such a formidable figure. How could he ever find himself in such close proximity to him as they were at this moment? Naruto sensed that Sentry's true self was utterly unaware of the events that had unfolded. He may not have been aware of the existence of another self within him. He could not fathom the depths of the darkness that lay within that second self, Void. Yet, none of these reasons could sway Naruto to show mercy to Sentry. This perilous man must meet his end. You were meant to be a celebrated hero, yet here you stand, facing your end. After uttering those words, Naruto offered no further explanation. He extended his hand and with a decisive motion, turned his neck with precision. This was Naruto's stance against the foe. Convinced that an adversary lurked in the shadows, he knew he must be unyielding, striking first and leaving no room for vengeance. Sentry was not so much innocent as he was merely unfortunate. The newly born Sentry ought to have forged his legend within the Marvel Universe. But alas, his neck was swiftly broken by Naruto. It was a true misfortune, yet he had no one to hold accountable but himself. If he were free from the grip of addiction, the shadows within him would not exist, and no malevolent force like Void would emerge. In that moment, Naruto would hold back his hand from striking. In the end, the Marvel Universe was filled with formidable heroes, and yet Naruto did not take their lives. Naruto would eliminate those who posed a threat and could bring chaos. This was the truth that lay deep within Naruto's heart. He refused to be the kind of man who would take the lives of the innocent merely because he possessed the strength to do so. Without a doubt, Naruto showed no mercy to those who stood against him. The flat expanse of paradise, the legion of Thanos, and the ancient beings of the cosmos. Countless strong souls had met their end at the hands of Naruto. After confronting Sentry, Naruto chose not to linger in the mirror space any longer. He chose to walk away. Before he departed, he employed the intense heat vision to reduce Sentry's form to mere ashes. Eliminating the body and every sign of it would sever any chance of bringing this man back to life. It would be in this manner that it could be deemed truly infallible. Could he rise again after being reduced to nothing but ashes? If Sentry endured until the end, then Naruto would recognize it. As Naruto clashed with Sentry, a deeper concern gripped another soul, one whose anxiety eclipsed even that of Naruto himself. That was the man in charge. Nick Fury had no concern for Naruto, that much was clear. Indeed, Nick Fury wished for Naruto's end to come swiftly. Nick Fury navigated a complex bond with Naruto and Hela, marked by both affection and conflict. He felt a deep gratitude toward Naruto and Hela for their aid in navigating the storms that threatened Earth, yet a simmering resentment brewed within him for their collusion that led to the drowning of a piece of the United States. If not for Naruto, humanity on Earth might have lain still, allowing the Chitauri army to have their way without resistance. There were many other threats lurking in the shadows, unknown to Nick Fury. Like the dark bird rising from the ashes, and the realm above. Without Naruto, it is likely that the Earth would have vanished, never to endure until Thanos made his entrance. Yet, it was also due to Naruto's presence that a god walked among men on this Earth. And it was a deity that instilled fear in all. This was like placing a deity above mere mortals. This was, of course, not a favorable circumstance for those with ambition, like Nick Fury. That is why Nick Fury found himself entangled in a complex bond with Naruto, a connection marked by both admiration and conflict. He found himself torn, wishing for Naruto's swift end, yet yearning for his presence to linger just a while longer, to safeguard the fragile world they inhabited. In the end, despite Naruto's fiery temper and a touch of ruthlessness, he lacked any other significant flaws. He wasn't like the gods who only wanted humanity to be enslaved sheep. Captain Marvel was the source of Nick Fury's concerns. Captain Marvel had gone to find Sentry upon his request. However, she had been missing for several days and had yet to return. Even the contact had been cut off, and he had no idea where Captain Marvel had gone. Nick Fury couldn't have been unconcerned about anything like this. In reality, he had already pictured the worst-case scenario in his mind. Something had happened to Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel's might was immense, yet it was difficult to ensure that she would not be defeated. Nick Fury was taken aback when he saw the energy statistics supplied by Sentry. It did not seem unreasonable that Captain Marvel would have an accident when fighting such an opponent. Of course, the worst-case situation would have been for Captain Marvel to survive. Instead, she was indoctrinated. This type of stuff was much too typical in the Marvel universe. For example, Loki once hypnotized Hawkeye, who blasted the Sky Mother ship. In brief, Nick Fury's thoughts was jumbled, and he was concerned that something would happen to Captain Marvel. After all, Captain Marvel was not only the Avengers' most powerful superhero, but also Nick Fury's closest ally. Furthermore, she was a founder member of the SWORD division. Under such conditions, Nick Fury was understandably concerned about Captain Marvel's safety. What Nick Fury didn't realize was that Captain Marvel was still drifting in space. Sentry's attack had totally destroyed her protection, leaving her entire body severely hurt. She would not wake up quickly. Returning to Earth would take considerably longer. Without Captain Marvel, the already terrible order on Earth became much more unstable. After Captain Marvel vanished from the mountain above their heads, the supervillains totally let go of themselves. They blasted a hospital today and planned to blow up a building tomorrow. All the superheroes were becoming overwhelmed. At this moment, the United States' present position was much more chaotic than the initial plot. Naruto had drastically shifted the plot's path. The Ultron catastrophe delivered a massive blow to the superheroes, and they were yet to recuperate. In addition, after the military had enough experimental subjects, they produced a variety of superheroes. As a result, the number of supervillains was far more than in the narrative. Even Naruto didn't identify several of the supervillains. This was because such supervillains were not part of the narrative and he had never heard of them. While Nick Fury was getting a headache about the present scenario on Earth, another individual was unsatisfied with it. That individual was Dr. Strange. Dr. Strange despised Naruto when he humiliated him, destroyed half of his face, and snatched the Time Stone. Now he was continuously thinking about how to get retribution and make Naruto pay for his deeds. Unfortunately, he lacked the power to retaliate against Naruto. Naruto did not even glance at him while fighting Thanos. This was a contempt and even disgust for him. As a result, Dr. Strange was enraged and embarrassed. Dr. Strange, on the other hand, was well aware that his power would be insufficient to defeat Naruto. He could only turn to external powers or other powerful beings to deal with Naruto. Luckily, he discovered such an existence in Kamartage's library. The latest Strange Doctor was still the Sorcerer Supreme, but he lacked trump cards. Not only did he not learn Yao's white magic, but he also lost the Time Stone. More significantly, it was not simply the Time Stone that had been taken away. The Eye of Agamotto, a holy relic passed down from one Sorcerer Supreme to another, was also there. When discussing this celestial treasure, one must mention a big shot, Agamotto. He was the first Sorcerer Supreme, a member of the prehistoric Avengers, and a Trinity god Vishanti. He was an old being, and his might was rather intimidating. This great master taught Yao the white magic he used. However, Agamotto's inheritance was revoked in Doctor Strange's generation. Doctor Strange not only failed to inherit the power of white magic, but also lost the Time Stone. In addition, Naruto damaged half of his face. One may argue that he was a complete loser. Of course, Doctor Strange refused to believe this. He nursed a vendetta toward Naruto and planned to exact revenge on him. And now, Doctor Strange, who was exploring the library in Kamatage, saw an opportunity to revenge against Naruto. That was to obtain assistance. Doctor Strange discovered a surprising fact while studying the archives in the Kamatage library. He discovered that one of the Trinity gods, Agamotto, had not died. It's only that he was in another realm and couldn't get to Earth. And via the record, Doctor Strange discovered how to resurrect Agamotto. Although the material stated that Agamotto was no longer a superhero, he was an ambitious individual. No matter what happens, Agamotto must never return to Earth. But Doctor Strange, who was obsessed with vengeance, ignored the warning. His animosity for Naruto had grown to an extreme. In order to exact revenge on Naruto, he would utilize any manner or means. Even if it meant calling Agamotto back to Earth, he wouldn't hesitate. Not to mention Agamotto, who, if he hadn't been forced to, would have wished to summon Dormammu. In truth, he had already sent a message to Dormammu, expecting that the latter would come to Earth and assist him in killing Naruto. However, all of the messages he delivered to Dormammu sunk into the water, and he received no answer. Naturally, he was unaware that Naruto had already killed Dormammu. However, this demonstrated how far Doctor Strange had fallen. This was usual. Doctor Strange has always been quite haughty. He grew up with good grades, hailed from a prominent family, and attended an internationally known medical school while studying. And in the United States, the standards for becoming a doctor are quite rigorous, and physicians, of course, make a lot of money. Then he graduated with honors and became the world's leading neurosurgeon. However, he was later engaged in an automobile accident, which ended his career. It was also a blessing in disguise, since he joined Kamatage and became a wizard. Furthermore, he possessed a gift that blossomed as soon as he arrived in Kamatage, and he succeeded the Sorcerer Supreme. How could Doctor Strange not feel proud of such a seamless life experience that crushed regular people? In actuality, he was an egotistic guy. Then Doctor Strange reversed. He purposefully sent the apocalypse to Naruto, inviting retribution. Not only was half of his face damaged, but the Time Stone was also removed. How could Doctor Strange's mind not be corrupted by such a devastating blow? After all, in Doctor Strange's view, he was only making a joke, and Naruto put him in this situation. Naruto was plainly fussing about nothing, and he was excessive. Of course, when he considered this, Doctor Strange selfishly dismissed the possibility of what might happen if Naruto was not Apocalypse's opponent. Overall, this individual was a self-centered egomaniac. He liked to force his standards on others. This is evident from his trick on Loki. Naruto, on the other hand, lacked Loki's fury and had more strength. Naruto was enraged when Doctor Strange played a joke on him and caused him problems. This also turned Doctor Strange against Naruto. Doctor Strange went so far as to break his pledge in front of Yao out of spite. Doctor Strange quickly awoke Agamotto, who was far away in an unknown universe. Then, with the assistance of Doctor Strange, Agamotto returned to Earth. When Agamotto emerged from the summoning structure, Doctor Strange's entire body shivered with excitement. He felt that his moment to exact retribution had finally arrived. Yes, he thought Agamotto could help him deal with Naruto. Are you the person who brought me back? Not bad. I'm Agamotto, the first Sorcerer Supreme. Hello, Junior. When Agamotto moved out of the summoning formation, he noticed Doctor Strange alongside him. At the same moment, he detected a familiar aura emanating from Doctor Strange's body. The essence of white magic. That is how he learnt the identity of Doctor Strange, this generation's Sorcerer Supreme and his successor. Yes, welcome, the great Trinity God, the all-knowing and all-powerful Lord Agamotto. Doctor Strange bowed and greeted him with respect. He knew deep down that the person in front of him was a big shot, and if he intended to exact revenge on Naruto, he needed his support. Agamotto nodded in approval as he observed Dr. Strange's demeanor. That's correct. This person who handles himself with respect is a qualified successor. He is not like the 25th Sorcerer Supreme, who simply learnt my abilities and sent me to an unknown dimension. In the beginning, I was quite naive to accept Yao as my pupil. Yao exiled Agamotto to an unknown universe back then. But now Yao had died and returned to Earth. This affluent planet would soon pass into his hands. Soon, Agamotto spoke with Dr. Strange, mostly to grasp the present state of the Earth and to plan to conquer it. Dr. Strange did not hide anything and revealed everything about the present situation on Earth. Dr. Strange also provided some fuel when discussing Naruto. He depicted Naruto as a dictator intent on destroying the Earth and stifling Kamatage's development. In essence, he sought to position Naruto and Agamotto as adversaries. He longed for the moment when Naruto and Agamotto would clash, eager for the inevitable confrontation to unfold. Agamotto could easily pierce the veil of Dr. Strange's meticulous contemplation. Yet Agamotto chose not to reveal him. Instead, he let Dr. Strange have his way. Indeed, Dr. Strange had no need to stir Agamotto. He would inevitably cross paths with Naruto, and trouble would follow. Aside from all else, the time stone in Naruto's grasp was sufficient for Agamotto to seek him out. Yet, Agamotto's brow furrowed as he contemplated the strength of Naruto. It was a hard thing to confront a force capable of overcoming the celestial group. As a timeless deity of the earth, Agamotto possessed secrets that eluded the grasp of mere mortals. He understood that the planet had once served as a testing ground for the divine, and that within the essence of humanity lay a fragment of the eternal. In those days, Agamotto gathered the prehistoric Avengers alliance alongside Odin and the others, standing firm against formidable foes from the celestial ranks. The Celestials had lost their minds, wreaking havoc and obliterating countless worlds across the vast expanse of the universe. Their strength was formidable, nearly on par with the five gods. In the end, through the relentless struggle of the prehistoric Avengers, those formidable Celestials met their demise at last. The people of the earth had been saved as a consequence. Naturally, Agamotto would keep these secrets from Dr. Strange. He sat there, contemplating how he might track down Naruto to reclaim the Time Stone. On the other hand, on the Quiet Island, Naruto had received the word of Agamotto's return to Earth. It was clear that this was not a revelation that had come to Naruto on his own. He was not so idle as one might think. Yao arrived to speak with him. In that instant, Yao donned a white hooded robe, resembling a monk, as he sat across from Naruto. "Are you telling me that Agamotto has come back to Earth and intends to pursue me?" Naruto gazed at Yao before him and inquired of her. Yao gave a slight nod. That was her purpose in this place. Agamotto stands as the inaugural Sorcerer Supreme, the architect of white magic, revered for his all-seeing wisdom and boundless power. He was my first teacher, shaping me into the person I have become. His ambition looms large, casting a shadow over all else. He aspires to dominate the world and rise as a singular deity. In time, I came into his strength and cast him out. Yet, I never thought he would return. Yao lifted the cup of dark tea from Asgard and spoke with a measured calm. Naruto remained unaware of this hidden truth. In that moment, Naruto found himself wrapped in a haze of confusion. How could an all-seeing being like Agamotto remain blind to Yao's impending betrayal? Was Yao's banishment of him also part of his design? If this were true, what grand strategy was he engaged in? Moreover, Agamotto held the Time Stone first. As long as Agamotto possessed a modicum of intelligence, it was inconceivable for him to overlook the future. Knowing what lay ahead, would Yao still turn against Agamotto? How utterly ineffective was Agamotto? This matter was, in truth, far more complicated than Naruto had ever imagined. In those days, Yao possessed the strength to cast out Agamotto, not solely through her own might, but with the aid of another formidable presence by her side. That formidable presence was Eternity, one of the five deities. With the aid of Eternity, Yao deceived Agamotto and claimed his power as his own. Then, when Yao seized the moment, she betrayed him without hesitation and cast Agamotto into an uncharted realm, where he has remained lost ever since. As for him, possessing all knowledge and all power, there exists no all-knowing and all-powerful entity. The unfamiliar in the world resembles the shadows. Where there is light, shadows linger. In the absence of light, only shadows remain. Yao spoke, a smile playing on his lips. She had no interest in the supposed all-knowing nature of things. Upon careful reflection, he understood that the notion of all-knowing beings was a fallacy. Even the present Naruto and the five gods did not presume to claim they were all-knowing and all-powerful. To claim all-knowing and all-powerful was a notion that stood on shaky ground. Naruto nodded in agreement, affirming Yao's words with a quiet resolve. Yet, another challenge emerged once more. You cast Agamotto into a realm unknown, yet here he stands once more. How did that come to be? This was the inquiry posed by Naruto. It is peculiar. He discovered my hidden tome and called upon Agamotto. He made an attempt to reach Dormammu, but ultimately, he fell short. He let me down far too often. His pride has brought about his downfall. Yao spoke with a heavy heart. She felt a deep sense of disappointment with the actions of Doctor Strange. At first, she believed he would carry on her legacy, yet ultimately, his pride led him down a dark road. Had the world adhered to the initial narrative, absent of the boy with the whiskers, Doctor Strange would hardly stand as a worthy champion after enduring a succession of trials. In time, he confronted Agamotto, halting the attempt to breach Earth's defenses. It was a shame that all aspects of his being shifted due to Naruto. That is how it stands. I see it clearly now. As long as they have the audacity to challenge me, I will not offer them any mercy. Naruto made a promise, a vow that carried weight in the silence of the moment. As long as they continued to challenge him, he would not hesitate to end them. He had already let the strange doctor go once, all for Yao's sake. Thus, it was clear there would be no repeat. Yao understood this well and was ready for it, so she remained silent. Yet, Yao's expression remained uneasy, as though she carried the weight of unspoken words, a hint of embarrassment lingering in the air. Yet, in the end, Yao found his voice. I ponder whether you might assume the mantle of Sorcerer Supreme following the passing of Doctor Strange. Your strength makes you fit for this role. Yao remained steadfast in his desire to draw Naruto into his fold, yet Naruto showed no inclination toward the path of the Sorcerer Supreme. He sought to avoid trouble, and he also wished to evade responsibility. In that moment, Naruto sensed no duty to safeguard the world. Thus, he was unable to ascend to the rank of Sorcerer Supreme. Yet, there was a certain truth in what Yao expressed. The role of Sorcerer Supreme must not remain unfilled. Naruto began to ponder who might be worthy to assume the mantle of Sorcerer Supreme. Considering this, Naruto put forth a worthy candidate to Yao for the position of Sorcerer Supreme. Upon hearing Naruto's suggestion, Yao stood in silent disbelief. She regarded Naruto with a curious gaze, weighing the sincerity of his words against the possibility of jest. Yet, gazing upon Naruto's solemn countenance, Yao could only let out a weary sigh in resignation. I trust that the one you suggested will truly rise to the rank of a worthy Sorcerer Supreme. With that, Yao departed, a shadow of concern lingering in his wake. In that moment, she found herself in accord with Naruto's suggestion. Who, then, was the candidate that Naruto put forth? It was Loki, the third prince of Asgard. With a striking visage and the presence of an elder sister, Hela, he was known to all as the third prince. Naruto spoke with conviction when he considered the idea of Loki ascending to the role of Sorcerer Supreme. Loki possessed a remarkable gift for magic. In another realm of the Marvel multiverse, Loki had taken on the mantle of Sorcerer Supreme, and Naruto understood that this Loki held the potential to ascend to that same power. Loki's preferences were of little consequence. In any event, Loki was a man of his word, and he would not lead Naruto and Hela astray. Though Loki reveled in chaos, he was far from foolish. He understood the difference between mischief and the pursuit of death. He had no desire to be pursued relentlessly by Hela. No one could say with certainty if Loki had the strength to bear the weight of safeguarding Earth. Yet it ought not to be seen as a misfortune. Naruto, resolute in his thoughts, contemplated the best way to request Hela to summon Loki. At this moment, the doctor remained in the dark. As he pondered the reliance on Agamotto for vengeance against Naruto, Naruto himself was consumed with thoughts of how to secure his place after ending him. Naruto stood, patient yet restless, until Agamotto finally arrived to meet him. Few truths on this planet could escape the gaze of one as formidable as Agamotto. He could grasp what he sought to understand, though the notion of his omniscience was an overstatement and a flawed idea. As Naruto pondered the moment of Agamotto's arrival, the figure materialized before him. The portal remained, a steadfast emblem, as Dr. Strange followed in the shadow of Agamotto. As Dr. Strange trailed behind Agamotto, it was clear he was ready to embrace the role of a younger brother, fully committed to the path ahead. Upon witnessing this, Naruto let out a scornful laugh. Dr. Strange was hardly a match for him. After witnessing Naruto, Agamotto moved without delay, seeking a spot to settle himself. He saw himself as an outsider, and in truth, he held Naruto in little regard. He acted in this manner, fully aware that he held the power to subdue Naruto. Is it the god of earth? Text: I am the all-knowing, all-powerful being, Agamotto, and perhaps you have heard of my name. After making his introduction to Naruto, Agamotto turned his gaze back to Hela. As the sovereign of Asgard, I remain your elder, without a doubt. I stood beside Odin eons past. In those days, we formed the prehistoric alliance to stand against the Celestials group. Are you aware of this? To Naruto's astonishment, Agamotto did not rush in to engage in battle right away. Instead, he started to speak of his bond with Odin. He spoke with Hela, seeking her approval, as was the way of things. Though Agamotto harbored doubts about Naruto's true power, he recognized the undeniable strength that lay within him. In the end, he managed to slip away unharmed from the onslaught of countless Celestials. Only the strong can endure this. Agamotto was no fool. His desire to befriend Hela was clear and straightforward. In the end, the Time Stone lay firmly in Hela's grasp. Yet, what Agamotto could not foresee was the deeply troubled bond that existed between Hela and Odin. Hela eliminated Odin. If he intended to utilize Odin to establish a relationship with Hela, it could only be stated that his path was quite limited. Please share the purpose of your visit. I believe your visit here goes beyond that of a mere guest. Naruto expressed to Agamotto his discontent with the current twists and turns of the situation. Naruto inferred Agamotto's intentions. As anticipated, he was expected to arrive for the Time Stone. Given the circumstances, he should communicate directly. Regarding the Time Stone, returning it was not feasible. Naruto is not the father of Agamotto. What would motivate him to provide the Time Stone? This was Naruto's acquisition, which he obtained transparently and with integrity. It was straightforward to retrieve it from Naruto's hand. If an individual possesses sufficient strength, they may be able to obtain it through force. Upon encountering Naruto's derisive stare, Agamotto's expression hardened. How could someone like him fail to understand what Naruto was contemplating? This time, he approached Naruto with the intention of establishing a proper dialogue, aiming to negotiate a specific price for the return of the Time Stone. However, it was clear that Naruto had no intention of engaging in communication with him. Upon comprehending the implications of Naruto's words, Agamotto's gaze turned significantly more frigid. Given the circumstances, I will be straightforward with you. I am here to retrieve my belongings. The Eye of Agamotto, along with the Time Stone contained within, is originally my possession. Agamotto was straightforward in his approach. He has just disclosed his intentions. He was present for the Time Stone. If Naruto had effectively communicated with him from the outset, he would have at least articulated his goal with greater tact. Subsequently, he would provide Naruto with certain advantages in return for the Time Stone. This experience proved to be entirely beneficial for Agamotto. Simultaneously, he believed that Naruto would not turn him down. He held the title of Agamotto, the inaugural Sorcerer Supreme, and was a prominent figure in his field. Nonetheless, Naruto's demeanor remained icy, regarding him with an air of disdain, as if he were observing a simpleton. I obtained the Time Stone through my own capabilities. Text: if you wish to reclaim it, assert your strength. Should you believe in your capabilities, you are welcome to attempt to seize it. Naruto responded with a sense of contempt. Simultaneously, he directed his gaze towards Dr. Strange, and the contempt in his eyes was unmistakable. Dr. Strange's face flushed with anger. He was taken aback by Naruto's continued stubbornness and arrogance in such a situation. It was acceptable for him not to take himself seriously, however, he seemed indifferent towards Agamotto. However, that was acceptable. In this scenario, Agamotto would retain his hold on Naruto. While Naruto possessed considerable strength, it is difficult to draw a comparison to the all-knowing and all-powerful Agamotto. Certainly, the primary motivation behind Dr. Strange's idea stemmed from his insufficient knowledge. He was unaware of the challenges Naruto encountered while engaging with the Celestial Group. If Dr. Strange had been aware of the Celestial Group, he may have had a different perspective on Naruto's capabilities. He would not regard Naruto merely as a more powerful mutated human. Indeed, that was the perspective Strange Doctor had regarding Naruto. He believed that Naruto was merely a more powerful variant. Thanos was a formidable extraterrestrial being. He held the view that Naruto's presence, as perceived by Agamotto, should be regarded merely as that of a dog. Ultimately, Agamotto was a deity of unparalleled knowledge and power. Isn't this significantly more favorable than Naruto's designation as God of the Earth? If Agamotto were aware of the thoughts occupying the Strange Doctor's mind, he might have taken decisive action against him. Despite his self-assurance, he maintained a respectful attitude towards Naruto. While Agamotto held no fear of the Celestial Group, it did not imply that he could disregard their presence. He understood that even the most formidable celestial organization had intended to eliminate Naruto, but was unsuccessful. Considering this, Agamotto restrained his anger and refrained from reacting negatively towards Naruto at that moment. He stated slowly, "I hope you can reconsider. Collaboration is essential. We must avoid turning against one another. Are you presently facing scrutiny from the Celestial Group? I am available to assist you. If you provide the Time Stone, I am prepared to assist you in your battle against the Celestial Group. What are your thoughts on that?" Agamotto provided him with his assurance. He was skeptical that Naruto would remain unaffected under such circumstances. The entity referred to was the Celestial Group, the most formidable and aggressive organization in the universe. Certainly, Agamotto made this statement. However, he was unable to oppose the Celestial Group. He was aware and understood that the five gods were supporting the Celestial Group. His statement was made solely to obtain the Time Stone from Naruto initially. The Time Stone held significant importance for Agamotto. He was regarded as all-knowing, but in truth, he merely utilized the Time Stone to glimpse into the future. In the absence of the Time Stone, his designation as an omniscient entity would be rendered meaningless. Even one above all refrained from asserting omniscience. What qualifies Agamotto to be regarded as omniscient? Nevertheless, Naruto did not concur with Agamotto's expectations. Naruto dismissed Agamotto's promise with a scoff. All individuals present were of adult age. Who would be Southwest misguided as to place their trust in him? Agamotto sought to deceive him and seize the Time Stone by offering a hollow promise. Did he believe Naruto was experiencing mental health issues? If there are no further matters to discuss, you may proceed to leave. This matter no longer requires further discussion. I believe you may not be able to assist me, either. I must express that your strength is not a priority for me. Naruto remarked with a composed smile, leaving Agamotto without a response. Simultaneously, his tone was firm. He was evidently prepared to bid farewell to the guests. This time, Agamotto was filled with fury. He was surprised by the challenges presented by Naruto. Despite his earnest words, Naruto remained steadfast in his disagreement. Agamotto understood that he could not reclaim the Time Stone through dishonest means. At this point, there exists a singular path forward. It aligned perfectly with Naruto's assertion. He would need to take it directly from him. Upon reflection, Agamotto's expression shifted, and an intense force abruptly radiated from his being. The seawater surrounding the island exhibited continuous agitation due to this pressure. Nevertheless, Naruto remained composed and was entirely unaffected by this pressure. Given your lack of respect, a confrontation is necessary. Agamotto observed the composed Naruto and remarked. Clearly, following the breakdown of negotiations, Agamotto was prepared to seize the opportunity. Naruto offered a confident smile and provided Hela with an encouraging glance. He promptly accessed the mirror dimension and brought Agamotto within. Agamotto also did not put up any resistance. He proceeded to follow Naruto into the mirror space. He possessed unwavering confidence in his abilities and was certain that he would prevail over Naruto. For him, entering the mirror space alongside Naruto was a routine matter. Furthermore, he possessed a deep understanding of the magic associated with the mirror space. Even if he truly could not overcome Naruto, he still had the option to evade. It is worth noting that while Agamotto's strength may not have been significant, his intelligence was quite commendable. Upon entering the mirror space, Agamotto's demeanor shifted dramatically. He recognized that there was an issue at hand. This mirror space differed somewhat from his initial expectations. Certainly, it was distinct. Naruto had meticulously enhanced this mirror space. It was not merely a reflection of reality, but an entirely new realm of countless dimensions, remarkably akin to the actual universe. Furthermore, considering Agamotto, even if the five gods were to infiltrate this location, their escape would not be straightforward. Otherwise, the original sentry would not have been eliminated by Naruto. I will reiterate this one final time. Please return the time stone, and we can maintain our amicable relationship. The commitment I expressed previously remains in effect. I remain committed to assisting you in your efforts against the Celestial Group. In that case, we would be compelled to take a stand. Consider your options thoughtfully. Despite feeling a slight sense of unease, Agamotto recognized that surrendering at this juncture was not an option. Consequently, he expressed his thoughts with strong language, anticipating that Naruto would relent and preserve his reputation. Nonetheless, Naruto's expression did not change. He maintained an expression of indifference and composure, accompanied by a subtly mocking smile as he regarded him. This stirred Agamotto's heart with unease, yet simultaneously, it fueled his anger further. From Agamotto's perspective, Naruto appeared to be condescending by taking this action. Consequently, after a moment of reflection, Agamotto set aside his apprehension and resolved to confront Naruto using his most powerful ability. He was confident that his strength would enable him to handle Naruto effectively. Ultimately, his white magic demonstrated remarkable strength. However, this notion did not persist for long before it was decisively eliminated. This was due to Naruto, positioned before him, exuding an exceptionally strong and remarkably familiar power, white magic. Naruto was certainly knowledgeable in white magic. Naruto dedicated several days to searching for Yao in order to acquire the knowledge. As Naruto progressed, his white magic significantly exceeded that of the Ancient One. Even Agamotto, the originator of white magic, demonstrated significantly lesser proficiency in white magic compared to Naruto. The level of strength exhibited was entirely unforeseen by Agamotto. The reason Naruto achieved such a high level was not solely due to his remarkable talent for magic, but also because of his boundless energy. The significant aspect was that Naruto retained his knowledge of black magic. In reference to black magic, Naruto's understanding of white magic advanced significantly on a daily basis. While Naruto's black magic and white magic represent two distinct systems of magic, nonetheless, they shared numerous similarities, and he had the opportunity to learn from each of them. This was the primary reason why Naruto's white magic surpassed that of Agamotto. Despite Agamotto's considerable power, he was unable to enhance white magic by using black magic as a reference. It was expected that there would be a circumstance in which he would lack certain knowledge. Naruto was not burdened by this concern. His magical abilities had significantly exceeded those of Agamotto. Agamotto got extremely mortified when he saw Naruto had surpassed him in his most prideful realm. He no longer has the confidence to fight Naruto. How was he expected to fight? His strongest talent was no match for Naruto. Wasn't he simply going to embarrass himself by fighting? Agamotto had ran out of ways to make Naruto softer. He had intended to use his own power to force Naruto to hand over the time stone. But now he could only dismiss this concept. Even Naruto's magical strength was far superior to his own. Furthermore, the most horrifying aspect of Naruto was his body. Agamotto had read a lot of Naruto's information and reports. So he was naturally aware of Naruto's strength. It's only that Agamotto didn't anticipate Naruto's genuine power to be so different from what he guessed. Naruto had the strength to beat him up. Agamotto felt quite uneasy after discovering this. He felt elderly. And now he can't even defeat a junior. Of course, Agamotto had no plans to make a move either. He was thinking about how to give in and force Naruto to let him go. Agamotto could see Naruto hadn't taken him seriously. He followed Naruto into the mirror area, which proved to be his worst mistake. After coming here, he couldn't even flee. Naruto had ultimate control over both his life and death. If he wanted to live, he simply had to wait for Naruto to offer him the opportunity. Agamotto's countenance shifted when he realized what was happening. His prior arrogance vanished, replaced with fawning and flattery. Naruto noticed all of Agamotto's changes and automatically assumed what this guy was thinking. However, Naruto was dismissive. Wasn't he rather arrogant just now? Actually, Naruto and Agamotto did not have such a grudge, and Agamotto did not want to murder Naruto. It was merely that he desired the time stone, which made Naruto very angry. This was the major reason Naruto had a negative opinion about Agamotto. Didn't you say you expected me to pay the price? Then come. Naruto made a light-hearted remark to the mortified Agamotto. It was fascinating to observe the changes in Agamotto's face. Agamotto's entire body shook at hearing Naruto's remarks. After witnessing Naruto's power and recognizing the difference between them, how could he possibly make a move against Naruto? Looking at the arrogant Naruto, he could only smile. However, in his heart, he chastised Dr. Strange to death. That damn man, he'll skin him later. He had entirely forgotten that he intended to reclaim the time stone from Naruto. What should I do for you so that you would let me go? Agamotto questioned Naruto, taking a low stance. He already knew he wasn't Naruto's opponent. In this situation, if he sought to save face, he may actually die. Agamotto did not believe Naruto would not dare to kill him. At this point, if he didn't act like Wei, Naruto would certainly murder him. Survive the wind and waves for a time, then take a step back for a brighter future. At this point, he should find a means to escape Naruto's clutches. Naruto was pleased with Agamotto's tactfulness. However, Naruto would not let this person off that easy. Want to live? Give me a reason why I should not murder you. Naruto spoke coldly. The significance of his statements was clear. He sought advantages. Agamotto wished to survive, but he had to provide sufficient rewards in exchange for Naruto's forgiveness. Otherwise, if Naruto decided to murder him, he would just kill him, with no emotional weight. Agamotto was aware of this as well, so he swiftly considered what he might do to dispel Naruto's deadly intent. In other words, what did he possess that Naruto required? Agamotto felt he was doomed if the money he paid was insufficient to please Naruto. Agamotto's heart sank as he reflected about the repercussions. Who would have guessed he'd wind up in this situation? Agamotto originally intended to rule the planet. Later, he came knocking on Naruto's door, aiming to compel him to give up the time stone. According to Agamotto's assumptions, Naruto would yield to his coercion. Even if he didn't comply, Agamotto was convinced he could persuade Naruto. However, the reality was far more harsh than he had anticipated. He lacked the strength to challenge Naruto at all. On the contrary, Naruto could simply murder him right now. This was due in part to Agamotto's incompetence. He knocked on the door, unaware of Naruto's might. In reality, even without Naruto, he would be unable to vanquish Hela. After gathering the 6 limitless jewels, Hela's battle strength was incomparable to Agamotto's. If Agamotto had been patient enough to obtain all of Naruto's information, the outcome would have been different. He would have promptly discarded this absurd concept. Unfortunately, there was no remedy for remorse. Agamotto did not have any medication for remorse. After some consideration, Agamotto reached a choice and considered the cost of his life. Lord Naruto, I remember that you have a grudge against the Celestial Group, right? This was referred to as being wise. After seeing Naruto's strength greatly outweighed his own, Agamotto quickly altered his tune and addressed him as Lord Naruto. Naruto bowed and listened to Agamotto for the time being. Then Lord Naruto should also know that the 5 gods in the universe are behind the Celestial Group, right? Agamotto asked again. Naruto nodded again and let Agamotto discuss it. Agamotto took a deep breath before revealing his negotiating chip. Of course, he was really apprehensive. He wasn't sure if he could succeed, but he had a strong opportunity. With Lord Naruto's relationship with the Celestial Group, you'll have to fight the 5 gods, eventually. As for me, I'm prepared to give Lord Naruto an opportunity. An opportunity to receive support in fighting the 5 gods together. Agamotto eventually pulled out his negotiating chip. He nailed the nail on the head and pointed out Naruto's greatest threat right now, the 5 gods. Naruto, on the other hand, controlled his deadly intent after hearing Agamotto's remarks. If Agamotto's claims were genuine, this bargain was well worth it. From this, it was clear that Agamotto was no fool. His remarks to save his life were sufficient to demonstrate his intellect. He did not kneel in front of Naruto and beg for forgiveness like a typical villain, nor did he attempt to flee in order to boost his chances of survival. Agamotto understood that if he did this, he would die. Naruto's personality would make it irrelevant if he received the backing of the five gods. As a result, Agamotto immediately demonstrated his value. Only valuable individuals could preserve their life. "Tell me, who is it?" Naruto inquired with interest. He was clearly intrigued in the aid that Agamotto had suggested. Naruto assumed that Agamotto would not dare to lie to him. If he dared to lie, Naruto would certainly kill him. "My father, and his siblings." Agamotto spoke openly. Naruto was puzzled when he heard this. He knew Agamotto was telling the truth, but he was unaware that Agamotto had a father. Naruto was also inquisitive. So, who the hell was Agamotto's father? Agamotto didn't keep him waiting. Instead, he gave Naruto a simple explanation. Around 4 billion years ago, the world was still in a barbarous phase. A great entity known as the Creator came to Earth and disseminated his divine might, resulting in the birth of the first generation of ancient gods. The most powerful ancient gods included Jia, Thon, Set, and Ashtar. Thon was Agamotto's father. It is worth noting that Thon was the source of the Scarlet Witch's chaotic magic. One can imagine how powerful Thon was. Jia, on the other hand, was the origin of the Asgardian deity system. In other words, she was Odin's ancestor, as well as Hela's eldest ancestor. The other two ancient gods had great might and were among the most powerful beings in the cosmos. A war arose 2 billion years ago between the old gods and the five gods. Finally, the old gods of Earth were defeated, leaving the five gods to govern the cosmos. The five gods annihilated some of Earth's vanquished ancient gods, while sealing others. The five gods imprisoned the four most powerful ancient gods. These ancient gods remained locked in an unseen dimension. Agamotto listed 4 of the most powerful ancient gods as his allies. Naruto felt affected after hearing Agamotto's introduction. If that's the case, they'd make good companions. The old gods did have battles with the five gods, and they were adversaries. The enemy of the enemy was obviously a friend. This aspect alone demonstrated Naruto and the ancient gods' potential collaboration. Furthermore, the five gods exerted significant pressure on Naruto. Previously, even facing Eternity's clone had been incredibly tough for Naruto. It would be good to have a helping hand at times like this. Let's assume what you said is true, but the question is, how am I going to find them? And how can you guarantee that I will be able to convince those 4 ancient gods to cooperate with me? Naruto stared at Agamotto and inquired. Agamotto's demeanor remained unchanging, and it was evident he had anticipated Naruto's query. He hesitantly said, "Of course, I cannot promise that. After all, no one can overrule the will of these 4 ancient gods. Nevertheless, the potential for successful collaboration is quite significant, a fact I trust you are also aware of, Lord Naruto. Regarding the location of the 4 gods, I am able to provide information on that. Remember your origins. I am prepared to leverage this opportunity, in exchange for my existence." Agamotto responded to Naruto and presented his condition. An opportunity for collaboration that may not yield positive results, in return for his life. This agreement was satisfactory for Naruto. Ultimately, even if he were to eliminate Agamotto, there would be no advantages gained. Furthermore, there was no significant animosity between him and Agamotto. The sole individual who held a grievance against him was Dr. Strange. Consequently, relinquishing Agamotto was not a challenging task. Otherwise, Agamotto would not have had the opportunity to articulate his thoughts, and Naruto would have eliminated him. Agreed, let's proceed as you suggested. Naruto responded with a sense of detachment and consented to Agamotto's proposal. Upon hearing this, Agamotto exhaled deeply, and his previously tense demeanor softened significantly. He found it challenging to remain calm. Ultimately, he had been close to death. Fortunately, he made a well-informed decision. He had effectively preserved his life from Naruto. This was the most commendable reward for Agamotto. Regarding the time stone, Agamotto chose to disregard it. It was gratifying to experience life. What was the purpose of the time stone if he was destined to perish? Regarding Naruto's collaboration with the ancient gods, Agamotto lacked the authority to make a determination. He provided Naruto with an opportunity. The outcome of his success was contingent upon Naruto's own actions. Let's proceed with going out. Preparations are necessary before we proceed to locate the 4 ancient gods. Naruto addressed Agamotto and created an exit within the mirror space. Upon passing through this exit, he would be able to return to the real world. Prior to departing, Naruto cast another glance at Agamotto. It appeared that he was observing a child who had encountered misfortune. Upon learning about Agamotto's background, Naruto finally comprehended the reasons behind Yao's betrayal. Eternity, one of the 5 deities, positioned itself behind Yao. Agamotto, conversely, was the progeny of one of the 4 ancient deities. Isn't it typical for the grievances of one generation to persist into the following generation? The mere fact that Agamotto was the son of Thon would not alleviate Eternity's feelings in any way. Nevertheless, none of this was related to Naruto. He found it intriguing. Shortly thereafter, guided by Naruto, the 2 of them emerged above the island. Following that, Agamotto, who had been compliant in the presence of Naruto, immediately reacted explosively upon encountering Dr. Strange. At this moment, Dr. Strange found himself in a rather unfortunate situation. His limbs were affixed to a tree using Hela's sword. Upon witnessing Agamotto's emergence, Dr. Strange regarded him with anticipation, wishing for Agamotto to seek retribution on his behalf. However, what awaited him was the wrath of Agamotto. If it weren't for this individual, how could he have considered seeking conflict with Naruto? If he had not encountered difficulties with Naruto, how could he have come close to death? At this thought, Agamotto experienced a strong desire to consume Dr. Strange's heart. Naruto's gaze towards Dr. Strange conveyed clear disdain. A Dr. Strange in such a diminished state did not merit Naruto's consideration. He is your responsibility, but please manage the situation with care. I prefer not to have any further interactions with him. Naruto provided guidance to Agamotto with a composed demeanor. Naruto believed that Dr. Strange did not merit being eliminated by him. Naruto was unaware of the precise conclusion of Dr. Strange. Nevertheless, he was certain that Strange would not lead a fulfilling life. Agamotto had experienced a significant defeat at the hands of Naruto, and it was certain that he would seek an outlet for his frustration. Dr. Strange served as an appropriate outlet for his frustrations. Despite Agamotto being acquired by Naruto due to his own selfish desires, Agamotto remained indifferent. Ultimately, Dr. Strange's strength proved insufficient. In the presence of a formidable individual, he lacked the authority to voice his opinions. It would not be unexpected if an individual resorted to extreme measures to express their frustration towards him. Following Agamotto's departure with Dr. Strange, Loki arrived on Earth under the directive of Hela. Subsequently, as per Naruto's arrangement, Loki accompanied Agamotto to study white magic. Naruto's intention was clear. Agamotto recognized his desire for Loki to ascend to the role of Sorcerer Supreme. Agamotto felt a strong inclination to decline his request. Upon returning to Earth from an unknown dimension, it would be logical for him to reclaim his position as Sorcerer Supreme, wouldn't it? Nevertheless, he did not feel he could refuse. Given Naruto's formidable strength, any further remarks could potentially jeopardize his safety. Faced with overwhelming pressure, he was compelled to suppress his inner sorrow while imparting knowledge to Loki. Loki would undoubtedly embrace such a favorable opportunity. Who was concerned about the pain Agamotto caused? He maintained a positive outlook regardless. Furthermore, the greater the pain Agamotto experienced, the more content he became. He constructed his happiness at the expense of others' suffering. Loki undoubtedly retained a sense of gratitude within him. He was aware of the individual responsible for providing him with this opportunity. He demonstrated a high level of obedience in the presence of Naruto. He demonstrated significantly increased compliance when confronting Hela. He chose to overlook the prior grievance. What significance does it hold that he was referred to as the third prince? Despite being assaulted by Hela, they were not acquainted at that moment. Additionally, due to Frigga's guidance, Loki experienced minimal resentment towards Hela. Neither Naruto nor Hela acknowledged the shift in Loki's demeanor. Loki was merely an insignificant figure, unworthy of Naruto's consideration. Furthermore, if Loki were to attain the title of Sorcerer Supreme, it would undoubtedly benefit Asgard as well. The present-day Asgard can be regarded as a hub of exceptional talents. The increased prosperity and stability of Asgard allowed Hela to dedicate more time to Naruto. Following the return of Agamotto and Loki to Camartage, Naruto and Hela resumed their everyday lives without any sense of embarrassment. Naruto sincerely wished for his life to persist in this manner. He lacked ambition. He simply desired to exist in this manner. He would not have sought out others for conflict had he not been faced with significant challenges himself. Nevertheless, events in this world do not occur solely due to an individual's desire. Strength often led to complications, and this held true across all realms. When an individual possesses significant strength, even in the absence of any proactive attempts to create conflict, it is inevitable that many will seek to engage with him. Naruto possessed a profound comprehension of this matter. Following another 2 weeks on the isolated island, Agamotto made his presence known once more. This time, Agamotto approached the situation with a sense of caution. He planned to take Naruto to the location where the 4 ancient gods were sealed. Initially, Agamotto indicated that he would provide Naruto with an opportunity to converse with the 4 ancient gods, and now the moment had arrived for him to honor that commitment. Naruto acted decisively. Following their farewell to Hela, he and Agamotto proceeded to create a dimensional portal. "Rest assured, I will return shortly." Following Hela's reassurance, Naruto and Agamotto departed from Earth. After traversing numerous dimensions, they ultimately reached their intended destination. This was a grand world characterized by expansive mountains and an elevated sky. It resembled the Earth of ancient times. The environment was also comparable. Shortly after the arrival of Naruto and Agamotto, the 4 ancient gods residing in seclusion became aware of their presence. "Ah, it is Agamotto. Shouldn't you be on the planet Earth? What brings you back?" Simultaneously with the emergence of Naruto and Agamotto, a deep female voice resonated from beneath the ground. Shortly thereafter, the ground trembled, and a significant fissure emerged. Subsequently, a divine figure manifested before Naruto and Agamotto. The upper body of this goddess was human, characterized by delicate and profound features, presenting an image of great beauty. Her lower body was composed entirely of pure energy. She was without legs. Introducing Jia, one of the 4 ancient deities. Agamotto spoke to Naruto in a subdued tone before extending his greetings to Jia. "Esteemed ancient deity Jia, I have come on this occasion to pay a visit to my father. Additionally, I have accompanied my friend to this location." In outlining his objectives, Agamotto also presented Naruto. Jia turned her head and inquired of Naruto in a subdued tone, "What type of deity are you?" Naruto responded with a calm demeanor, "God of the Earth." Upon hearing Naruto's response, Agamotto's expression shifted to one of mild perplexity. Ultimately, he stated, "This is the God of Earth, Lord Naruto." He arrived with positive intentions. It must be acknowledged that Agamotto remained dependable. He opted not to deceive Naruto, even in this moment. Certainly, it was also due to his lack of courage. Naruto's strength was incredibly profound, and it was unclear where his limits might lie. Additionally, Naruto mentioned that he had previously engaged in combat with a clone of Eternity. He survived, despite his battle against Eternity. That is precisely why Agamotto recognized that Naruto was not an opponent he could contend with in any capacity. Consequently, Agamotto faithfully fulfilled his commitment to Naruto and refrained from entertaining any alternative considerations. Thus, even if the negotiations between Naruto and the 4 ancient gods were unsuccessful, he would not direct his frustration towards him. The title God of the Earth is quite impressive. Welcome. It has been quite some time since we last hosted a visitor. Jia greeted Naruto with a warm and cordial demeanor. Certainly, it was likely for the benefit of Agamotto. Naruto acknowledged with a nod and chose to remain silent thereafter. At this moment, he had encountered only one ancient deity. The timing was not appropriate for him to disclose his intentions. Simultaneously, 3 beams of light advanced from the remaining 3 directions. They soon halted in front of Naruto and Agamotto, encircling both individuals. Naruto was aware that, barring any unforeseen circumstances, the other 3 ancient gods were expected to descend. It was, in fact, Thon, Ashtar, and Set. Agamotto was the initial individual to extend greetings to Thon. "Great Father, your faithful son, Agamotto, has come to pay his respects." Agamotto spoke to Thon. Thon appeared as a man stripped of his skin, raw and exposed to the world. His form was a tapestry of deep crimson sinew, and his gaze burned with a fierce, bloody hue. He bore the weight of shadows, a man whose face told stories of unkindness. He exuded an air of unapproachability, prompting others to instinctively brace themselves. "Agamotto, you performed well. Text, you have returned with a remarkable catch." As he spoke, Thon's scarlet eyes bore into Naruto with a ravenous intensity. He was filled with a deep-seated malice. Though Naruto carried a weight within him, he masked it well, revealing nothing of his inner turmoil at first glance. Yet, beneath the surface, he remained vigilant. It appeared that these old gods were not so simple to converse with. The other two ancient deities linger in the shadows. Ashtar bore a resemblance to Thon. They appeared to be of the same kind as us. Yet, Ashtar carried an air that suggested she was not as malevolent as Thon. Moreover, Set resembled a colossal serpent. This was an unexpected turn for Naruto. As Naruto watched the four ancient gods, they too regarded him with their timeless gaze. First, there was the essence of Naruto. Naruto stood there, devoid of any presence. Unless he acted, Naruto often appeared just like anyone else, blending into the crowd without distinction. Certainly, the four ancient gods were not foolish, and they would not regard Naruto as merely a mortal. Could a man stand in the sky? There was but a single truth: Naruto's strength was formidable, so much so that even they could not fathom its depths. Contemplating this, the gazes of the four ancient gods grew notably more grave. Even Thon turned away, his wicked eyes averted. "My friend, might I inquire about your purpose? Explain your purpose for being here." The serpent-like figure confronted Naruto, demanding to know his true intentions. Naruto contemplated it, resolute in his decision to reveal his true intentions. "I intend to wage a conflict against the five deities. Text, I understand there were past disagreements between you and the five gods. Perhaps we can find common ground and collaborate." Naruto spoke with a measured calm, revealing the purpose of his visit to them. Yet, once Naruto had spoken, the gaze of the four ancient gods shifted. Even Gia, the gentlest of souls, possessed a gaze that could cut through the thickest of veils. She seemed to yearn to uncover the essence of Naruto, to pierce the veil of his true self. "So, you plan to take on the five gods alone?" Thon spoke with a certain contempt. He regarded Naruto as a madman. He held no faith in Naruto's claims, nor did he consider that Naruto possessed the ability to achieve such a thing. The other ancient gods were not as forthright as Thon, yet there lingered a certain hostility in their gaze. Yet, Naruto could still perceive the dread lurking in the gazes of these four ancient deities. They feared the five deities. Upon this realization, Naruto felt a twinge of disappointment. At first, he had anticipated the ancient gods to possess great strength, but now it appeared they were merely ordinary. Their fear of the five gods spoke volumes about their true power. Thus, Naruto found little reason to pursue further talks of collaboration with them. Rather than rely on a feeble companion, Naruto would be better off facing the challenge by himself. In any event, Naruto felt no concern about facing the five gods by himself. "In the depths of your frightened gaze, it becomes clear that I can no longer rely on you. If you fear the five gods so much, then let it be as if I never spoke of joining forces." Once he had spoken his final words, Naruto pivoted and walked away. He had no desire to linger any further. As for Agamotto, Naruto found him unworthy of his attention. He was capable of looking after his own needs. Upon witnessing Naruto's deeds, the other ancient gods remained unperturbed, yet Thon's rage ignited like a storm. It was a truth he held close, a fear of the five gods that gnawed at him, yet to voice it so plainly was a misstep. Furthermore, who among us did not tremble before the five deities that govern the cosmos? Was this a thing to be ashamed of? Thon had clashed directly with the five gods from the very start. Though he faced defeat, he remained unbroken, a testament to his enduring strength. Thus, he carried his pride with him. Naruto's scornful stare cut through him like a knife. So proud. What sort of place do you reckon this is? Are you free to come and go as you please? If you wish to depart, surrender your body to me. It has been ages since I last savored fresh meat. As he spoke, Thon's body exuded a vast surge of crimson energy. It resembled a wild dance of untamed forces. Naruto, with intentions to depart, hesitated. Then Naruto gazed at Thon. At first, Naruto had no intention of acknowledging this wild beast, yet the creature's ferocity demanded his attention. Could he endure this? Did this man believe he was without a temper? In light of this, Naruto resolved to stay away from home. He would not depart today until this wild beast was persuaded. Agamotto stood there, a figure of discomfort amidst the chaos of the battlefield. He cast a glance at Naruto, then shifted his gaze to Thon, a weight of anxiety pressing down on him. It was Agamotto who led Naruto to this place, yet it was Thon who was his progenitor. If they began to clash, discomfort would settle in his chest like a heavy stone. Moreover, it would be acceptable if Thon emerged victorious. He could come to terms with Naruto's passing. But what if Naruto emerged victorious? Wouldn't that mean he was deceiving his father? The thoughts of the other three ancient gods remained a mystery, yet they chose not to intervene in the unfolding conflict. Instead, they all observed with a detached gaze as the struggle between Naruto and Thon intensified. At last, Naruto reached his limit. He let out a harsh breath and charged at Thon. The wild beast had set its sights on Naruto from the beginning, and its rage was palpable. He was determined to knock his teeth from his mouth, come what may. Thon smiled with a cruel edge as Naruto charged at him. He had resolved to impart a profound lesson to Naruto. It would be simpler if Naruto met his end swiftly. Even if he couldn't end him, it would be satisfying to peel away some of Naruto's skin. As this thought lingered, the crimson glow in Thon's eyes intensified. Then the great scarlet energy erupted with ferocity, surging toward Naruto with relentless force. Thon's power, a wellspring of chaos magic, stood unchallenged and undeniable. Confronting Thon alone, even the mightiest of 5 gods would find themselves burdened by a heavy weight upon their minds. Though Naruto loathed the mad dog, he could not deny the undeniable strength of Thon. Yet, Naruto held a firm belief in his own strength, and he was resolute in his quest to conquer this wild beast today. He resolved to conquer this wild beast, Thon, regardless of the cost, until it learned to submit. To claim that the vast scarlet energy of Thon was the most splendid form of magic would not be an understatement. Then Naruto's straightforward and unadorned charge was the essence of strength. Confronted by the tumultuous surge of chaotic magic energy, Naruto's face remained impassive. He intended to summon his strength to shatter the enchantment. He tightened his hand into a fist and drove it forward with force. Kanjin Kaitian. Naruto unleashed his full strength, employing a decisive and lethal technique. Moreover, Naruto unleashed his full strength without hesitation. He summoned every ounce of his strength. The outcome was profoundly unsettling. With that blow, the vast crimson force surging toward him simply vanished. The realm of the 4 ancient gods was starting to fracture, the very fabric of their existence unraveling. It was powerless against the force of Naruto's blow. This blow split the earth beneath them. A chilling fissure started to unfurl beneath Naruto's feet. No one could tell how far it had stretched. The depth was evident, as the blood-red magma surged skyward, revealing that Naruto's punch had likely breached the earth's crust. Thon, bracing himself against Naruto's punch, found himself in a deeper state of despair. He bore the brunt of the harm. The flesh on his body lay in ruins, fragments scattered, revealing the stark whiteness of bone in certain places. The great scarlet energy faded away. The punch from Naruto broke it apart. The might of this fist was fearsome. This blow had even bested Thon. But after the blow, Thon was consumed by rage. Let out a fierce cry. I wish for your end. How dare you wound me? You're gone. Thon shouted at Naruto with fierce intensity. he appeared as a wild, injured creature, lost in its own turmoil. Meanwhile, the other ancient deities, who had been observing the clash, felt a stir of surprise at the unfolding scene. Then, the three ancient deities exchanged glances, a silent accord passing between them. The deity of the land, is that so? Your request is under consideration. Yet, you must demonstrate greater fortitude to prove your ability to contend with the five gods. If not, you should go. Gia took to the air and conveyed the message to Naruto. Her words caught Naruto off guard. At first, Naruto had turned his back on the four ancient gods, but now, a glimmer of hope emerged. Yet, as Naruto pondered the matter, he came to understand that this was simply how things were. Did these ancient deities turn their backs on him, believing he lacked the fortitude? In the end, he faced the might of five deities. If Naruto lacked the strength to stand against them, what reason would these ancient gods have to ally with him? Yet, the circumstances had changed. As Naruto launched his assault on Thon, the ancient gods looked on, recognizing the formidable power he wielded. They offered Naruto but a single chance, as if that were all he needed. Naruto's strength was formidable, yet it fell short against the might of the five gods. Unless Naruto could conquer the four ancient gods simultaneously, this alliance stood little chance. Upon grasping this truth, Naruto found a measure of calm within himself. If that were true, what more could be said? Let's go, all four of you. Strike as one. Naruto spoke to the four ancient gods with a detached air. Yet, in that moment, no one perceived Naruto as being full of himself. In the end, he possessed the necessary qualifications to carry it out. Thon was the sole figure who regarded Naruto with a loathing so intense, it seemed he could devour him whole. Many of the old gods were ruthless and unforgiving. Thon stood apart from the rest, his reputation fierce and unyielding. The animosity he displayed towards Naruto from the outset revealed much about his character. The other three ancient gods were no more welcoming. Agamotto, on the other hand, had already hidden at the outside of this dimensional universe, watching the gods fight in the middle. Agamotto's strength may be good, but it depends on whom it is compared against. Agamotto was convinced that he would not be inferior to the celestial group. But in front of Naruto and the four old gods, he was a junior. Not to mention participating in the war. Even the fallout from the conflict may kill him. Agamotto watched as the combat resumed. This time, Naruto was besieged by four ancient gods. Thon discharged an unending supply of crimson energy, which poured towards Naruto like a flood. If it were in the outer world, this energy might easily crush the Milky Way galaxy. You could imagine how powerful this guy was. In addition, Gia emitted two yellow light beams from her eyes. These two beams of light appeared to be much heavier. They even demolished the space. It was difficult to grasp the sheer force of these two beams of light. And the large snake, Set, opened his mouth wide and took a long breath. Many things streamed into his mouth as a result of his suction force. It was as if the instant he opened his lips, it turned into a massive black hole. Oshto also blasted a dark laser from her palm. Everything in the line of the beam was destroyed. It was so powerful that even Naruto felt threatened by this pitch-black laser. It was simple to envision how terrible this dark beam may be. Naruto even believed that his body's defenses could not withstand this pitch-black beam. However, Naruto's strength was not insignificant. Naruto took a deep breath to channel the nearly limitless energy in his body. Then there was an explosion. In the following second, an unending light emerged around Naruto. The brightness of these lights was 1,000,000 times brighter than the center of the sun. The second these lights appeared, the temperature of the entire dimensional realm began to climb fast. In an unusually short period of time, the temperature had risen to tens of millions of degrees. Everything in this spatial universe started to dissolve. Explode! Naruto gave out a low growl. When he finished speaking, the infinite light erupted. Countless energy burst and spread in all directions. People were terrified by this energy, which appeared to be innumerable red lightning bolts. What was even more horrifying was that wherever the red lightning struck, everything crumbled inch by inch. A pitch-black abyss formed, and the spatial universe began to crumble. In the face of Naruto's energy explosion, the dimensional universe inhabited by the four ancient gods was pitifully frail. The spatial barrier was readily broken, and the everlasting nothingness began to enter this realm. When Agamotto noticed this view in the distance, his eyes nearly burst out. Without thinking, he opened a gateway and fled this dimensional realm. Agamotto realized it would be too late if he didn't act fast. Naruto's energies would burst, destroying everything. The world would be broken, and then consumed by the endless nothingness. The other ancient gods' faces also altered from somber to terror. They had already attempted to overestimate Naruto's power, but they did not anticipate that Naruto's strength would ultimately exceed their predictions. Even Oblivion, the most powerful of the five gods, lacked such might. While the four ancient gods were stunned, the energy emitted by Naruto collided with their strikes. The crimson energy of Thon, the black beam, or Gaia's yellow beam were all broken quickly, leaving no room for doubt. These attacks were not on the same level at all. As for the big snake Set, he ceased collecting energy. Instead, he expelled the energy he had just received, transforming it into a thick cosmic ray that clashed with Naruto's energy. Unfortunately, it remained unbreakable, and Set's assault was also annihilated. Naruto's energy outpouring was like an eraser. It was deleting everything. Such scary power reminded Set of a terrifying prop. However, before Set could ponder more, Naruto's energy shockwave had arrived. Set clenched his teeth and filled his body with energy. He intended to tackle the shockwave full-on. The other ancient gods had done the same. They didn't want to avoid, they just couldn't. Naruto's energy burst was more than simply an area effect technique. There was full-screen damage. Defending against it was like sheltering beneath a hammer. However, the old gods gradually came to regret it. The energy shockwave was considerably more scary than they had anticipated. They were instantaneously bruised all over, and their proud defense was ripped to shreds in the twinkling of an eye. Fortunately, the energy shockwave passed fast. After the energy shockwave passed, the four old gods breathed a sigh of relief. Thon was the most wretched of them all. His body was utterly devoid of flesh, and he resembled a skeleton. Only his scarlet eyes were still visible. Set has lost all of his scales. His skin was visible to everyone. Gia and Oshito were uncomfortable, since they had both sustained injuries. Naruto was really pleased with the outcome of this energy explosion. However, he did not plan to stop there. Ignoring the other three ancient gods, Naruto dashed at Thon. Naruto remembered everything this person had told him. He had to dismantle this guy's skeleton. Thon also observed Naruto running towards him, and his expression altered instantly. The corner of his lips even showed a bitter grin. However, the skeleton could not provide such a rich expressiveness. However, surprisingly, this scene did occur. Thon was filled with remorse now. If he had realized Naruto was so powerful, he would not have spoken so freely. Naruto disregarded the other three ancient gods and charged at him. Obviously, he wanted to settle things with him. Thon regretted it. He wanted to surrender and ask Naruto for compassion. But, sadly, Naruto denied him this opportunity. He rapidly approached Thon, lifted his right hand, and slapped like lightning. The slap hit mercilessly on the left side of Thon's skeleton-like face. Instead of the customary snap sound of hitting the face, a click was heard. The left side of Thon's face thereafter developed several fissures and an apparent palm impression. At the same time, more than half of Thon's teeth were ejected. He seems quite unhappy. It was unnecessary to convey Thon's current agony and disgrace. He did not anticipate Naruto to react against him like way. How is this revenge? It was a direct insult to him. Thon briefly considered fighting Naruto to the death. But when he saw Naruto lift his palm again, he became afraid. I was wrong, please click. Naruto slapped him, interrupting his appeal for compassion. Naruto hit Thon on the right cheek again before he could plead for forgiveness. Then a 5-finger print emerged on Thon's right cheekbone. It matched the palm print on the left cheekbone and appeared pretty symmetrical. Of course, Thon's remaining teeth were all blasted out. Not one tooth was left behind. At this point, Thon wanted to cry. He had never experienced such a massive loss and humiliation since the Creator created him. Most significantly, it was too unpleasant. When has he ever been hit in the face like that? However, once he saw Naruto's steely look, he had no intention of resisting. He knew he and Naruto were not on the same level at all. Naruto saw his pride as useless. He was so terrified that he couldn't continue to confront Naruto. Just before Naruto was ready to hit Thon again and fully destroy his skeleton, the other three ancient gods rushed over. "Lord Naruto, please spare Thon's life. We still have a common enemy, the five gods. Please spare him. I believe he will not turn against you in the future." The other three old gods quickly appealed for Thon, hoping that Naruto would be merciful. These four old gods had been together for a long time, so they still had affections for one another. It made sense for them to seek pity for him. Naruto paused for a time, but his steely stare remained fixated on Thon. "For the sake of our collaboration, I will spare your life this time. However, if this happens again, I will tear your bones apart." Naruto sent a warning to Thon, indicating that he was prepared to set aside their earlier fight. When Thon learned that Naruto was willing to let him leave, he felt lucky. He felt as if he had reclaimed his life from the brink of death, and he was relieved that Naruto did not beat him to death on the spot. Thon refused to take retribution. Naruto's dignity and backbone were utterly broken. He didn't dare to look at Naruto just now, much alone contemplate a vengeance against him. This was because Naruto's might and ruthlessness had thoroughly persuaded the old god. Naruto, too, did not keep quiet about the situation. After teaching the furious dog a lesson, he let it go. At the same time, Naruto recognized that this time's teamwork was a success. The old god's animosity for the five gods, mixed with Naruto's might, made both sides excellent partners. Of course, the specifics of this collaboration needed to be negotiated further. Perhaps Naruto was simply a disrespectful junior to the four ancient gods. However, this did not exclude Naruto from cooperating with them. Provided that the ancient gods' animosity towards the five gods exceeded their animosity towards Naruto, collaboration with him could be feasible. Was there significant animosity between the ancient gods and the five gods? That is certain. The five gods successfully vanquished numerous ancient gods and have confined the four remaining ancient gods within this dimension for an extensive period. This animosity was far more significant than a mere slap in the face from Naruto. Certainly, among the four ancient gods, Thon held a strong disdain for Naruto. It was unequivocal. Ultimately, Naruto had vigorously struck his face from side to side. It was a significant embarrassment, one that left no room for dignity. Nonetheless, Thon was entirely overpowered by Naruto, and he showed no inclination to counteract his actions. He also lacked the strength to accomplish that task. If he truly sought vengeance, it would ultimately cost him his life. Furthermore, in comparison to Naruto, Thon's animosity towards the five gods was significantly more pronounced. Had it not been for the five gods, how could he have remained confined in this dimension for more than 2 billion years? He was unable to go out for an extended period. Thon had long been significantly constrained by this. Having recognized the opportunity to exact revenge on the five gods, Thon was not one to relinquish his chance so readily. He eagerly anticipated delving into the vastness of the universe alongside Naruto to engage in battle with the five gods. He had a strong dislike for Naruto. However, in comparison to his animosity towards the five gods, his disdain for them was even greater. Furthermore, the five gods did not conquer Thon. If Thon could withstand animosity and collaborate with Naruto, it stands to reason that the other ancient gods would similarly be capable of doing so. Certainly, despite having reached an agreement, it would remain challenging to confront the five gods. The four ancient gods required the identification of additional ancient gods to initiate a conflict. Naruto needed to address the issue of the celestial group before pursuing the five gods. Certainly, both parties had previously reached an agreement. When the moment arrived, they would promptly initiate a conflict with the 5 deities. Naruto expressed a sense of satisfaction with this outcome. This was the objective of his visit. However, Naruto was not lacking in intelligence, nor was he gullible. While he engaged with the ancient gods, he maintained a degree of skepticism regarding their existence. Naruto was fully equipped to confront the 5 gods independently. When the moment arrives, should these ancient gods choose to engage in the conflict, it would result in a significant advantage. Regardless of their involvement in the conflict, Naruto had nothing to lose. The likelihood of the ancient gods collaborating with the 5 gods is exceedingly low. If both parties had been willing to collaborate, they would have reached an agreement much earlier. The ancient gods and the 5 gods were adversaries. They engaged in blood feuds. It would be more prudent to anticipate Naruto's disappearance rather than expecting collaboration with the 5 gods. Consequently, Naruto remained confident that he would not face betrayal after collaborating with the ancient gods. Upon obtaining a satisfactory response, Naruto departed from the entirely fractured dimensional realm alongside Agamotto. With the issue resolved, it was time to return. Naruto had significant tasks ahead, which were directly linked to his potential for a peaceful life in the future. Upon his return to Earth, Agamotto made his way back to Kamar Taj. Following the observation of Naruto's complete capabilities, his regard for Naruto grew significantly more respectful. Simultaneously, there was a hint of fear in his eyes whenever he gazed at Naruto. He was concerned that if he inadvertently provoked Naruto, he could face severe consequences. Rather than feeling apprehensive and uneasy in Naruto's presence, it would be more prudent for him to retreat to his own territory and take some time to regroup. Additionally, Agamotto was already aware of the connection between Loki and Naruto. He was aware that Loki's sister, Hela, was married to Naruto. Consequently, Agamotto possessed a method to ensure his own preservation. He could cultivate a strong relationship with Loki to facilitate a closer connection with Naruto. At that moment, Naruto would not eliminate him so readily, even for Loki's benefit. Considering this perspective, Agamotto approached the instruction of white magic to Loki with greater deliberation. At this point, he was instructing him as his designated successor. If Agamotto were aware that Loki held no significance in Naruto's heart, one can only speculate on his thoughts regarding the matter. Upon Naruto's return to Earth, he exhibited a complete disregard for all other matters. He temporarily set aside the threat posed by the 5 gods. He turned around and began to engage in an intimate kiss with Hela. After a certain duration, when Hela expressed her inability to endure any longer, Naruto ultimately ceased his actions. "I have a task to complete. I may need to be away for a few days." Following a vigorous confrontation, Naruto addressed the composed Hela with deliberate words. Hela cast a disapproving look at Naruto, seemingly holding him accountable for his earlier impolite conduct. Nevertheless, the hesitation in her eyes revealed her genuine feelings. Hela was quite astute. She was able to intuitively understand his meaning behind this. She was aware that Naruto still faced 2 significant adversaries, the Celestial Group and the 5 gods. "Allow me to assist you. I am now adequately equipped to assist you," Hela stated with conviction while gazing at Naruto with affectionate eyes. Her eyes radiated affection. Moreover, based on Hela's character, she was not the type of woman to accept a passive role. She prefers to stand alongside Naruto rather than remain on Earth and await his return. She aimed to provide him with the utmost support and assistance. Naruto clearly understood Hela's emotions, and he felt a sense of appreciation. He was fortunate to have a wife who would go to great lengths for him. Nonetheless, Naruto would refrain from drawing Hela into this vortex. His adversaries were undeniably formidable. However, as a gentleman, he should consistently position himself in front of his partner to shield her from the elements. "Rest assured, I have complete confidence. Please wait for my return." Naruto gently caressed Hela's face and offered her words of reassurance. He was determined not to put Hela in a position where she would have to jeopardize her safety for his sake. Hela decisively shook her head, firmly rejecting Naruto's proposal with a resolute expression in her eyes. I possess 6 Infinity Stones, and few entities in the universe can pose a threat to my power. I would like to accompany you. I will not hinder your progress. Additionally, the Celestial Group and the 5 gods are adversaries not only to you but also to me. I do not want you to carry this burden by yourself. Upon acquiring the Time Stone, Hayla gained the ability to monitor the timeline. She observed the potential outcome for Asgard had he not been present. This deepened her affection for him. However, she harbored no positive sentiments towards the Celestial Group and the 5 gods. If the conclusion of Asgard had not been altered due to Naruto, it would have inevitably turned into a ruin. If this represents the trajectory of the universe's evolution determined by the 5 deities, then Hayla must intervene to halt all progress. She could not permit the destruction of Asgard, thus she and the 5 gods had already become adversaries. Observing Hyla's resolute gaze, Naruto felt a profound sense of inspiration. Naruto preferred that Hayla avoid taking unnecessary risks. He was not at risk of dying, allowing him the freedom to act as he pleased. Naruto expressed his desire for Hayla to remain on Earth or Asgard until his return. Upon observing Hyla's resolute gaze, Naruto recognized his error. Hayla was not the type of woman who would choose to remain in his shadow. She had consistently exhibited that behavior. In challenging times, Hayla consistently opted to confront the difficulties alongside him, rather than retreating and silently hoping for his success. The primary factor contributing to the strong relationship between Naruto and Hayla was this. Since you are persistent, I will provide you with my assurance. At this moment, you are unable to accompany me. Prior to our collective challenge against the 5 gods, it is essential to address those disruptive elements first. Naruto articulated with deliberation. The troublemakers he referred to were the Celestial Group, which was his objective on this occasion. Naruto's strategy aligned with theirs. He intended to eliminate the Celestial Group. Regarding the 5 gods, when the moment arrives, he will summon Hayla and numerous ancient gods to create a significant event. Hayla comprehended Naruto's intent and responded with a measured nod. If his opponent were solely the Celestial Group, Hayla was confident that Naruto could manage it on his own. Regarding the 5 deities, when the moment arrives, they will act without hesitation. I will proceed first, and you will remain here until I return. We will jointly assume leadership over the universe. Naruto rose to his feet and made a solemn promise to Hayla. He meticulously opened a portal and stepped inside. The opposite side of the portal seamlessly opened in the dimension occupied by the Celestial Group. Hayla observed Naruto's figure with a sense of nostalgia before her demeanor shifted back to a more detached state. Naruto was already present on the battlefield, so she needed to keep pace. She aimed to utilize the final moments before the decisive battle to stabilize the situation in Asgard. Once Asgard achieved complete stability, she would be positioned to collaborate fully with Naruto in their pursuit of ruling this universe. Celestial Group, the foremost violent organization in the universe. The Celestial Group, a foundation that eternity dedicated extensive time and effort to nurture, stands as an impressive testament to their commitment. The exact number of members in the Celestial Group remained unknown to all. It is possible that even Eternity himself was unaware of the answer to this question. In addition to the numerous members of the Celestial Group, there existed a significant disparity in their levels of strength. The influential members of the Celestial Group were on par with the 5 gods and the ancient gods. Conversely, the less capable members of the Celestial Group did not reach the level of the Heavenly Father. For an extended period, Celestial Group has proactively upheld order in the universe, operating with an enigmatic presence that allows them to appear and disappear without leaving a trace. Only a select few were aware of the true nature of the dimension inhabited by the Celestial Group. Today, Naruto observed it. The dimension of the Celestial Group appeared to be situated at the center of the universe. He emerged from the portal, finding himself suspended in the vastness of space. Countless planets orbited Naruto, each one a distant world in the vastness of the cosmos. And there was much life on these planets. Even Naruto found himself taken aback by the weight of the living worlds around him. The universe stretched vast and endless, yet among its expanse, living planets were scarce, like whispers in the wind. Yet, in the realm inhabited by the celestial group, it seemed that each planet bore a multitude of lives. Upon closer inspection, Naruto realized that every creature across the planets in this dimension shared a singular trait. They all belonged to the timeless lineage. Naruto understood well the profound ties that bound the eternal race, the celestial group, and even eternity, one of the 5 gods. Yet Naruto found it hard to grasp the reason for the multitude of eternal races that thrived in the realm of the celestial group. If one were to employ figures to quantify the countless eternal races, that figure would surely be an unfathomable expanse, beyond the grasp of ordinary understanding. The celestial group turned numerous planets into a crucible in the vastness of the universe, fostering the eternal race. They acted in the same manner in the realm they inhabited. The potential of the eternal race was undeniable. Simply gaze upon Thanos, and all will become clear. The lifespan of the eternal race stretched on, enduring through the ages. As long as they drew breath, they would find a way to grow stronger. Thus, one might envision the sheer terror of the eternal race inhabiting those distant worlds. What might be the power of the celestial group that held sway over so many timeless races? Without witnessing it firsthand, Naruto could scarcely conceive of this dilemma. Regrettably, you made a grave mistake by crossing my path. Naruto steadied himself, masking his astonishment with a cool demeanor. From the moment he arrived in this universe, the fate of the eternal race was sealed, its glory destined to fade. Naruto had always held to the idea of severing the grass without leaving a trace of its roots. He had no plans to release his grip on the eternal race in this realm. If the celestial group had not chosen to provoke Naruto, he would have remained indifferent to their existence. They might persist in nurturing the eternal race, drawing forth their potential, and fortifying the celestial group. And there would be no reason to greet a deity of the land, steeped in a thirst for blood such as this. As Naruto gazed upon the distant planets, the eternal races inhabiting those worlds became aware of his presence. The celestial group swiftly noted the arrival of Naruto. It was notable that on each planet inhabited by the eternal race, a celestial held their ground. The planets in this dimension stretched endlessly, a vast expanse that defied the eye's reach. The count of these planets had to be measured in trillions. One might envision the inflated count of those in the celestial group. Upon discovering that the one who had crossed into this realm was Naruto, the celestial group sprang into action with remarkable swiftness. Then, beams of light fell upon Naruto, encircling him in their embrace. "You had the audacity to show your face here? You truly lack the understanding of what it means to live." A celestial voice thundered at Naruto, filled with fury. They understood well the power that Naruto possessed. They understood well that if Naruto chose to act, there would be no way to halt him. Yet, fear did not touch them in the slightest. They underestimated Naruto, believing he would not have the courage to strike. This was the realm of celestial group. Should anyone engage in battle with the celestial group in this place, regardless of their identity, they would meet their end, unless they were among the 5 gods. Naruto's gaze was unyielding, a stark chill in his demeanor as he surveyed the multitude of celestials encircling him. Maybe it was the weight of their reign over the universe that dulled the celestial group's awareness of peril. They remained blissfully unaware of the true terror that lay before them. Naruto's gaze was steely as he regarded the haughty celestials. He was taken aback that, even now, these celestials maintained their lofty demeanor. The celestial group had held dominion over the universe for an age that felt excessive. They had been away from it for so long that the meaning of danger had slipped from their minds. Yet, this was reasonable. With the might of the celestial group, when they chose to act, there were few in the vast universe who could stand against them. Furthermore, only a handful of celestials were aware of Naruto's true power. The other members of the celestial group understood only that Naruto was a man of peril. Aside from that, they were unaware of anything more concerning him. Naruto held no superfluous thoughts on the matter. It was of no consequence if they regarded him with disdain at this moment. In time, the faces of these celestials would inevitably betray a creeping fear. As the members of the celestial group gathered around Naruto, word of his arrival rippled through their ranks. This once tranquil realm suddenly burst into life. Streams of light shot forth from the planets, racing toward Naruto with an undeniable force. Yet, Naruto felt a calm that the enemy could not grasp. He regarded them with a steely gaze. He waited for the others of the celestial group to come, hoping their ranks would swell. Then he struck. He inhaled deeply and then expelled the air with force. In an instant, a fearsome storm from the cosmos loomed, charging toward the Celestials with relentless fury. All the Celestials who had once regarded Naruto with hostility now stared at him in fear. A mere whisper from Naruto summoned a fearsome tempest across the cosmos. Then how fearsome was the true power of Naruto? The Celestials were too pressed for thought on this matter. They stood against a storm from the heavens, a force of nature barreling down upon them. The ones nearest to Naruto bore the heaviest burdens of fate. They had no time to respond, and the cosmic storm seized them without mercy. Then, their whole being stiffened, and in a heartbeat, they were gone. The Celestials, positioned a bit farther from Naruto, found themselves with a moment to respond. Yet their deeds had lost all significance. Their reaction time fell short, leaving them unable to flee, and they found themselves ensnared in the cosmic storm. Then, when the cosmic storm struck, they were rendered utterly still, succumbing to the cold's embrace. When the battle commenced, the Celestial group faced a significant defeat at the hands of Naruto. The Celestial group was not lacking in power, rather, it was the overwhelming strength of Naruto that overshadowed them. Many beings, carried off by the cosmic tempest, could traverse the vastness of the universe with their forms, and those forms could endure an absolute chill of over -270 degrees. Yet, beneath Naruto's chilling breath, they found no opportunity to fight back and swiftly met their end. The chill of Naruto's breath approached the very edge of cold, a whisper of the absolute zero that lies beyond all warmth. If it were to reach absolute zero, then Naruto could indeed freeze time itself. Thank you for watching this amazing video. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel for more content. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.